All right, guys, we got review for test 20. Let's knock this thing out. 1, 2, and 3, the fraction equations. You multiply everything by the LCD. So multiplying everything up there by 20x. 20x, because 4 times 5 is 20, and don't forget the x. The first one, 4 goes into 25 times. You multiply the 5x times the number on top, which is just a 1. Second one, 5 goes into 24 times, so that leaves me 4 times x times 1. And the other side, the x's cancel. 1 times 20 is 20. Add them up. 9x is 20. Divide by 9. 20 over 9. Not too bad. Number two, anytime there's just one fraction on each side, I always like to do just cross multiply and act like it's a proportion. So 2x, I'm doing this way, be 2x squared plus 2x. And I'm going this way, 5x plus 35. Now, because I have an x squared, I'm already thinking, man, I got to factor this thing probably. So I'm moving everything over here, moving that 5x over, moving the 35 over. And now I'm looking at slide, divide, slide. So I'm going to slide the 2. 35 times 2 is 70. Factor that thing, which is going to be x minus 10x plus 7. Don't forget to slide back. Sorry, divide. Divide by 2. That's going to be 5. I'm okay with the 7 halves. If you want to slide it again, you can. But I'm just trying to solve it. So my two solutions would be 5 and negative 7 halves. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned here is that first one I could not have gotten 0 for an answer. And this one I could not get negative 1 or negative 7 because they make the denominator 0. One more of these. Let's try number 3. Let me try to make it a little bigger here, get some room. There we go. First thing you do number 3 is factor this denominator, because when I do that, that right there, that denominator is the LCD. So I'm multiplying everything times x minus 3, x plus 3. Also, don't forget, x cannot equal either one of the 3s. So the first term, the x minus 3s cancel. That would leave me 5 times the x plus 3. The second term, the x plus 3s would cancel. It'll leave me 3 times the x minus 3. And the third term, everything cancels. I would just have negative 2. All right, so let's distribute right here. That's 5x plus 15. Distribute again. Negative 3x plus 9. That gives me 2x plus 24 over here and a negative 2 over there. Move that 24 over. Negative 26. Divide by 2. Negative 13. That's a legal answer, so we're all good. Sorry about that. Number 4. Number 4 says solve. No work at all on number 4. Somebody's already done slide, divide, slide for you. Before they slid the 4, it said minus 3/4, which means the answer to that parentheses is 3/4. Before they slid that 3, it said 5/3, so the answer is 5/3, and that's all you got to do. Number 5, factors. I'm looking for factors of 12 that add up to be 7. Last I checked, that's 4 and 3. Everything's plus, so everything's plus there. Don't forget to write your answer as negative 4 and negative 3. Don't just factor it. Write your answer. Number 6, solve by taking square root. It's telling you what to do every time. Okay, so move the 30 over. Becomes negative 30. Divide by 6. Gives you negative 5. Take the square to both sides, hence the directions. And don't forget your plus or minus. Now, because it's negative inside there, take out an I, and that leaves you with square root of 5. Number 7, complete the square. Remember, complete the square. The gesture was take half the middle, square it, add to both sides. Half the middle, square it, add to both sides. But before you do that, we need to move that 13 over. This is where, be careful. When you move it over, it does change signs to negative 13. Now I'm going to complete the square. Half of negative 10 is negative 5. Square it. You get plus 25 on both sides. So on the left-hand side, you can now factor it. That's why we did it. And also, don't forget, whatever that middle number was, is what always ends up in your parentheses there. And that gives me 12. Now I got to do 2 steps. I got to get the x by itself. So I get rid of the square. The way you get rid of a square is you square root. And if you take square root of 12, by the way, that's really 4 times 3, which is 2 on 3 when you break it down. Just move the 5 over and we're done. Move it right there in front of the plus or minus sign. 5 plus or minus 2 on 3. Number 8, use quadratic formula. Here we go. X equals, in this case, y equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I just sang on the video. 5 plus or minus, if I multiply that out, oh, it's going to work out great. This is going to give me 49 over 4. Hopefully you know the square root of 49 is 7, so you got to keep on going. And you got to keep on going even more. 5 plus 7 is 12. Divided by 4 is 3. 5 minus 7 is negative 2 fourths. Negative 2 fourths is really negative 1/2. Awesome. Number 9, graphically. Number 9, what we're going to do is we're going to punch it in your calculator. So go to y equals and punch that in. All right, we're going to punch it in y equals. We're going to hit zoom 6 and graph it. So we do our left bound, right bound to try to find the 0. Remember, we go to second calc, and you're looking for this word, 0, because 0 is an x-intercept, which is also a solution. Left bound, right bound, one of your answers is going to be 0.143. I'm going to find the other one real quick. Okay, that wasn't real quick. I actually paused the video. I had to do a whole lot of right arrow key to get over there, but I got those two answers, 1.143 and 6. Came out even at 6, which is pretty cool. But remember, left bound, right bound, second calc 0. You got this. Number 10, 11, 12, all parabolas, find the vertex, all the stuff. Find the vertex, we did negative b over 2a all the time. So I would go positive 8 over 2 times 1. That's going to be 4. So my vertex is going to be 4 something. And the way we find that out, we take the 4 and plug it in. 16 minus 32, negative 16 plus. I'm getting negative 4 there. Then it says, does it have a max or a min? This one's going up, so it means it has a min. And remember, the minimum value is the y coordinate. And I'll ask you for the axis. I should have done that next. The axis is always x equals, don't forget that, and it's always what the x coordinate. Okay, and that's good enough for us. Number 11, same deal. Negative b over 2a is going to be positive 10 over 2 times 2, which is going to be 10 fourths, which is really 5 halves. So my vertex. All right, so the vertex is 5 halves something, and I got to plug that back in to see what it's going to be. Plug that in my calculator, did math frac, I got this right, I got 3 halves. So there's my vertex. My axis is x equals whatever the x coordinate is, and this one also has a min because it's a positive 2 in the front, and the minimum is the y coordinate. Number 12, the last one of these, thank goodness. So I got negative b over 2a again, which is positive 6 over 2 times negative 1. Work that out, you get negative 3. So my vertex is negative 3 something. As always, I'm going to take that negative 3, plug it in there. That's going to be negative 9 plus 18, that's 9. I'm pretty sure that's 12. So the vertex is negative 3, 12. Has a max this time because of the negative sign means it's going down, and the max is 12. I forgot the axis again. The axis, don't forget to put x equals, and it's x equals negative 3. Perfect. Let's finish this thing up here. One more slide. 15, 16. Last kind of problems. Square root equations. Remember, we're going to square both sides. To get rid of the square root over here, just get 7 minus 2x. Over here, I got 4. Move that 2 to the other side over there. Make it positive 2. Divide by 7. I get negative 2/7. Now, before you circle it, you do have to check it to make sure because it could be extraneous. So I'm going to plug the negative 2/7 in here. When I do that, it's not as bad as you think because 7s cancel. You get plus, minus is really plus plus. That gives me square root of 4, which is 2, which is exactly what it says. So that's awesome. Last one, number 16. And we are done. Number 16. Same deal. Let's square both sides. Now this is a little bit tougher. You got to square the sides. So the left-hand side's easy. The right-hand side's easy. Also, you just got to remember what to do. You square, multiply, double, square. Don't forget to do that. And because I have a square, every time I see a square, I'm like, man, I'm probably going to have to factor. So I'm going to move the 3x over there. I'm moving everything over. 2x minus 3x is 1x. Move the 3 over, I get minus 2. Let's factor that thing. It gives me x minus 2, x plus 1. So my two answers are going to be 2 and negative 1 maybe. Got to plug them in and see. Let's just plug them in the right-hand side. If I plug in that side right there, 2 plus 1 is 3. If that's positive, it's going to work because the square root's got to be positive. The problem is the negative 1. If I plug negative 1 in right there, it gives me 0, which means I need to get a 0 over there also. So if I plug negative 1 in for that x, that is going to give me 0. It's going to give me negative 3 plus 3, which is 0. So both those answers work. That's amazing. Doesn't always happen. Please, please, please make sure you check those tomorrow on those last 2 especially, and also the first 3 on the test. Always check them for extraneous solutions or those extraneous ones. Okay, so do great. I don't think this is that bad. Let's make a good test score tomorrow. See you then.